If you've been around Linux long enough, you already know that choosing a distro is only half the story. The real experience, the thing that defines how your system feels every single day, is the desktop environment. It's what you see, how you interact, how fast things open, how customizable everything is, and ultimately whether Linux feels better than Windows or not. And in 2026, this matters more than ever because desktop environments have evolved in completely different directions. Some are chasing simplicity, some are chasing power, and some are just trying to survive in a world that's moving very fast. So today, we're ranking Linux desktop environments from worst to best. And this isn't just about performance or looks. It's about the full experience, usability, customization, stability, resource usage, and how well each one fits modern computing needs. Let's start at the bottom. At the lowest spot, we have desktop environments that feel like they're stuck in time. These are the ones that haven't meaningfully evolved or have failed to keep up with modern expectations. A perfect example here is LXQt. It used to be a great lightweight option years ago, especially for very old hardware. But in 2026, it feels outdated in almost every way. The interface looks old, the development pace has slowed down significantly, and compared to newer lightweight options, it just doesn't offer enough. It still works, sure, but it doesn't excite anyone anymore. It feels like something you use only if you absolutely have to. Slightly above that, we have LXQt. Now this one is interesting because it's basically the spiritual successor to LXDE, but built using Qt instead of GTK, it's definitely more modern than LXDE and performs well on low-end hardware. But the problem is, it still feels incomplete. The experience isn't as polished as others, and sometimes it feels like a collection of parts rather than a fully unified desktop. It's improving every year, but in 2026, it still hasn't reached the level where it can compete with the top-tier environments. Moving up, we start getting into environments that are actually usable for daily work but come with trade-offs. XFCE is one of the most well-known names here. It has built a reputation over the years for being stable, lightweight, and reliable. And that hasn't changed. XFCE is still incredibly fast, especially on older machines, and it rarely breaks. But here's the thing, it hasn't evolved much visually. It can look good if you spend time customizing it, but out of the box it often feels dated. And while stability is great, modern users also expect smooth animations, better touchpad support, and a more refined experience. XFCE delivers consistency, but not excitement. Then we have Mate, which is basically a continuation of the old GNOME 2 experience. It's comfortable, familiar, and very traditional. For users who hate change, this is perfect. Everything is exactly where you expect it to be. But that's also its biggest weakness. It doesn't push boundaries. It doesn't innovate. It's like using a system from 10 years ago, but with updates. That's not necessarily bad, but in a world where desktop environments are trying new ideas, Mate feels like it's playing it safe. Now things start getting more interesting. Cinnamon sits right in the middle of this ranking, and honestly, it deserves that spot. It's one of the most balanced desktop environments out there. It looks modern, it's easy to use, and it feels very familiar to Windows users. That's a huge advantage. If someone is switching from Windows to Linux, Cinnamon is one of the easiest transitions. It has a traditional layout, a taskbar, a start menu, and everything behaves the way people expect. But while Cinnamon is good at many things, it doesn't really dominate in any one area. It's not the lightest, it's not the most customizable, and it's not the most innovative. It's solid, reliable, and user-friendly, but it doesn't push the limits of what a desktop environment can be. It's a safe choice, and sometimes that's exactly what people want. Now we move into the upper tier. Budgie is one of those desktop environments that feels clean and modern without being overwhelming. It has a very minimal design, a focused user experience, and a layout that feels fresh. The Raven sidebar is one of its standout features, giving quick access to notifications and settings in a very elegant way. Budgie doesn't try to do too much, and that's actually its strength. It's simple, but in a refined way. However, it still has some limitations. Customization isn't as deep as some other environments, and development has had its ups and downs. But in 2026, Budgie feels more stable than ever, and it's definitely a strong option for people who want something modern but not complicated. Now we're getting into the top contenders. KDE Plasma is easily one of the most powerful desktop environments available today. If you want customization, this is where you go. You can tweak almost everything: animations, layouts, behavior, themes, widgets, it's all there. And unlike the past, KDE is no longer heavy. In fact, modern versions of Plasma are surprisingly lightweight and very efficient. The level of control KDE gives you is unmatched. You can make it look like Windows, Mac OS, or something completely unique. And that's what makes it so appealing. But that same flexibility can also be overwhelming. For new users, it can feel like there are too many options. It's easy to get lost in settings. Still, in 2026, KDE Plasma is incredibly polished. The animations are smooth, Wayland support has improved massively, and the overall experience feels premium. It's a desktop environment that respects power users while still being accessible if you take the time to learn it. And then we have GNOME. This is where things get a bit controversial, because GNOME is one of the most polarizing desktop environments out there. Some people love it, and some people absolutely hate it. But there's no denying that GNOME has a clear vision. It doesn't try to be everything for everyone. Instead, it focuses on simplicity, workflow efficiency, and a very specific way of interacting with your system. GNOME removes a lot of traditional elements. There's no taskbar in the usual sense, no desktop icons by default, and everything revolves around the activities overview. At first, this can feel strange, especially if you're coming from Windows. But once you get used to it, it can actually be incredibly efficient. The design is clean, modern, and consistent. The animations are smooth, and the overall experience feels very cohesive. GNOME apps also follow a unified design language, which makes everything feel connected. However, customization is limited compared to KDE. Yes, you can use extensions, but that adds another layer of complexity and sometimes instability. GNOME wants you to use the system the way it was designed, and not everyone likes that. But in terms of polish, performance, and design philosophy, GNOME stands near the top. And now the best of the best. In 2026, the top spot goes to KDE Plasma for one simple reason. It offers the most complete experience for the widest range of users. It combines performance, customization, modern design, and flexibility in a way that no other desktop environment does. It has evolved massively over the years, fixing its old issues and becoming one of the most refined environments available. Day doesn't force you into a specific workflow. It adapts to you. Whether you want a simple desktop or a highly customized setup, it can handle both. And that's incredibly powerful. GNOME comes very close, and for some people it will actually be the better choice. If you prefer a minimal, distraction-free environment with a strong design philosophy, GNOME might be number one for you. But for most users, KDE's flexibility gives it the edge. So when you look at the full ranking, it's not just about which one is best, but which one fits your needs. If you have an old laptop, XFCE or LXQt might still be the best option. If you want something familiar, Cinnamon is a great choice. If you want clean and modern, Budgie works well. If you want power and control, KDE is unbeatable. And if you want a focused, streamlined workflow, GNOME delivers that in a way nothing else does. The truth is, Linux desktop environments in 2026 are better than they've ever been. There's no single winner for everyone, but there are clear leaders depending on what you value most. And that's what makes Linux so powerful, the freedom to choose not just your operating system, but the entire experience that comes with it. If you're switching from Windows or just exploring Linux for the first time, don't just pick a distro. Pay attention to the desktop environment, because that's what you'll be using every day. And choosing the right one can completely change how you feel about Linux. And honestly, we've reached a point where Linux desktops are no longer trying to catch up. In many ways, they've already moved ahead.